dice. You never know if it could change your life. Take a chance, you need the wrong or right. You never know if you don't roll them dice.
Namarie, Matt.
The same to you. Rob, when are you going to tell me your secret dwarvish name?
I will never tell you. Listen, it's forbidden. It's held only for close friends, as if we were only if we were true brothers. Also, we have to save it until it's really important, as Durin did for Elrond in the Rings of Power.
Well, speaking of the Rings of Power, that's what we're talking about on a special bonus episode of Dungeon Master of None. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting us on Patreon. We like that.
There were some requests for this. We're assuming a lot of you are nerds or would just like to hear our take on this. Obviously, we're going to talk all about it, but it's, I have not enjoyed, I do not in any way enjoy there being discourse.
Anything. Yeah, you don't enjoy much things.
No, I'm a misanthropic, hateful, loathsome creature. I dwell in the dark.
I've seen you sit on a blanket on a fine summer's day in a grassy meadow and just scowl. It's very bad. You gotta work on
I've
that.
resting asshole face. It's unfortunate. But I do not enjoy the discourse. I do not enjoy any discourse. I hate that we have to have conversations. I hate that I log on to the social media apps where I want to see people make hot takes about food and share interesting things, and then I have to read somebody's dumb shit take about the Rings of Power or House of the Dragon or some other thing. But all that being said, or specifically because of that, you probably have encountered some opinions about this show. So Matt and I are going to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean it's a fantasy show. It's the franchise that was most important to us growing up, and is still most important to the fantasy genre. And it's done now. $1 billion burnt into the air, and 8 episodes.
That's right. Ashes, as from Mount Doom, is all that's left. Yeah. A sea of scattered ashes.
Well, before we get into any spoilers, which are we're going to talk about the whole 8 episodes of the first season. What's your overall opinion of Lord of the Rings: The Rings of Power? The only show to put rings twice in. The bling ring.
I thought that it was the most of the episodes were pretty mediocre, to be honest. They weren't bad. They weren't good. There was a lot of weird meandering. There were a lot of subplots I didn't care about. There was a lot of really janky writing. But ultimately, at the end, I found myself enjoying the finale in general, and God help me, being a little excited for the seasons to come. I think that it awkwardly stuck the landing. I realize that this is a controversial opinion, but that's faint praise, but it is praise. I think overall I enjoyed watching it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess my overall take is it's fine. It was an okay first season. Was it as good of a first season as, let's say, the first season of The Sopranos or Deep Space Nine, True Blood, Deadwood, Breaking Bad, True Detective, Sharp Objects, Succession, The Witcher, Normal People, Game of Thrones, Orange is the New Black,
was not as good
Better
as
Call Saul,
subsequent seasons, but the rest I agree with. Listen,
Rome, Veep, Silicon Valley, The Wheel of Time, The Magicians, Lovecraft.
Wait, hold on, Matt. No.
Chernobyl, Jessica Jones, High Fidelity.
Wheel of Time's first season was worse than Ring of Power's first season.
I disagree.
You disagree? Okay, I feel like I'm grading on a curve, but
Barry, American Gods, Raised by Wolves, Handmaid's Tale, The Mandalorian, Euphoria,
sure. Just
The
listing off
Expanse,
good television shows, that's fair.
Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, okay. Listen, I just for all of the I've cut my list off halfway, but for all of this, it's just for $1 billion to not crack the my own personal top 50 is just, I mean, it's tough.
Well,
It's
and
tough.
we can and will talk about this, but yeah, I think the main thing is like, where did that money go? Like, I absolutely do not understand. Now, if that $800 billion is that for all 5 planned seasons, that makes a bit more sense. But if if that was all blown on season 1 of the Rings of Power, then I have no idea what they spent that money on. This is also what happened with Wheel of Time.
Right.
Like,
if it's all sitting, actually, I'm okay with them spending that much money if it's all sitting in Charlie Vickers and Emma Horvath and Ismail Cruz, or Owain Arthur. If it's sitting in all these wonderful actors' pockets, great.
Yeah,
an excellent transfer of wealth.
Yeah, the actors
but I'm
rule.
sure it was not.
I hope they got paid very, very generously. I'm assuming they probably didn't. But like, this. We also talked about this with Wheel of Time, and I don't remember it, but it was like $25 million an episode, and I just kept being like, "What did you spend that on?"
I'm guessing it's special effects, right?
Yeah.
It's I think I read somewhere there were like 1,500 like special effects artists employed for this season. That's a major corporation.
Yeah. Here's the thing with Wheel of Time is that, like, I'm assuming that Rosamund Pike took a bunch of their cash money for that, but there was no like big tentpole star, which I liked. So I'm like, where did that money go? I do want to say, since we're talking about it, I was ready to be angry and disappointed about the CGI, the special effects, because that is consistently one of the most disappointing parts of modern movies. And I have to...
Especially television shows,
especially
right? When you put CGI in a television show, it doesn't work. Yeah, it's garbage.
But I gotta say, it was really good in the Rings of Power. They got their money worth. There were lots of really great shots of Numenor and Eregion and Khazad-dûm that were honestly beautiful. I was really very pleased. Was that worth all of that money? I don't know. You could have maybe built a model, but I'm not an expert. I'm not a TV expert. But that being said, of all the things that I would like to complain about and will complain about, the CGI wasn't bad. Though there were a couple of monsters. There was a troll, a snow troll, which looked cool.
Snow troll. There
was a warg that looked cool. I don't know. That was good. I was impressed. I was expecting that to be bad.
Yeah. I think the first positive thing I will say about the show is the cast that they have is they're all very good actors.
Yeah.
While the dialogue they're given is often like, where is the scene going?
I'm good.
It's just real tough stuff to work with. So like they really did find some people who are good at acting to carry this series. Morfydd Clark, the actor who plays Galadriel, especially.
Yep. She's tremendous.
Yeah. It's a great cast. I mean, my only complaint, people, there's a jillion like racist complaints about the cast of Lord of the Rings. My complaint is that like a couple of the elves look like used car salesmen. I think it's not the problem of the actors. It's the problem of Celebrimbor and Elrond's hair.
Yeah.
Their hair looks wrong. It looks like something out of the 70s or something.
They need long flowing elf wigs, and I don't know why they didn't give them long flowing elf wigs. I'm not sure who made that decision to just give them like an 80s business guy haircut, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But like, the guy who played Elrond, the guy who played Gil-galad, they did a great job. And yeah, we'll talk about this in the finale. A few of them got some like really like finally some like excellent dialogue, and really like I sat up and took notice at a couple of scenes in the last episode where they really got to act, and I was like, oh, this is great. It's just like most of the dialogue, most of the situations are like putting these really good actors in just goofball nonsense scenarios,
right. But boring conversations.
Yeah.
To quote the earliest discourse about Lord of the Rings, bored of the rings. The franchise that launched National Lampoons and every like stupid Saturday Night Live person from Harvard on the planet. Bored of the rings. That's how I felt. Yeah.
I want, since we're talking about it, I want to go back, and some of our listeners are almost certainly too young to remember, or we're not as versed in the discourse, but I want to remind you and myself.
Yeah.
And everyone who's listening, what was said about Lord of the Rings?
Oh my
those
God.
Movies
it was so bad.
It was so bad. Those movies are almost universally loved right now. And I think that's correct. I think they have really aged magnificently. And they're tremendous movies. But I want, if you were not alive or conscious of this, I want to remind you that certain things, for example, elves showing up at the Battle of Helm's Deep, Arwen being the one to drive back the Nazgul at the ford.
Instead of Glorfindel, yeah.
Instead of Glorfindel.
Ian
Legolas
McKellen
surfing on a shield.
Ian McKellen as an openly gay actor being cast as Gandalf.
I forgot all about that. Yes, that's right.
There was a huge reactionary backlash to that.
Yes. This was high. We talked about this when we mentioned Lord of the Rings in the first place, but there's so much war on terror, early aughts conservatism, like baked into it that feels weird. And I forgot all about the Ian McKellen backlash. But I want to bring this up because there's this extremely wrong recollection that the Lord of the Rings movies were well received by the fan base and by people in general. And that is extremely not true, especially the extended editions, which I also love, but have all types of goofy shit. Go back and watch the army of the dead arriving to break the siege of Minas Tirith. It looks like scrubbing bubbles, folks. Like this was the joke. This was the joke. Like an army of scrubbing bubbles killing orcs. It's fine. It does not matter. It does not bother me in retrospect. But if your complaint is that like something in Rings of Power looks goofy, you must admit that it is a fantasy series and something that's always going to look fucking goofy.
Yeah. I think here's the deal is that a change to the lore of a property or the story that is being adapted is one, always necessary. No book can be just a movie. You got to make changes.
Yes.
If you didn't make changes, it would still be a fucking book. Number two, like these changes are neither like good nor bad, right?
Yes,
sort of.
That's important. It's neutral, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's what you do with them. Like Rob already brought up like a great example, like Arwen replacing Glorfindel. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this free preview episode of our bonus Patreon episode on Lord of the Rings. For just $5 a month, you can hear the rest of the episode plus 2 full work days of other podcasts. I think we're up to 5 adventures, 2 character classes, a whole slew of NPCs, and a ton of other fun content. So thanks for listening regardless, and keep rolling them dice.
Hey, come, merry doll, derry doll, my darling, light goes the weather wind and the feathered starling, down along Underhill, shining in the sunlight, waiting on the doorstep for the cold starlight. There my pretty lady is, river woman's daughter, slender as the willow wand, clearer than the water. Oh, Tom Bombadil, water lilies bringing, comes hopping home again. Can you hear him singing? Hey, come, merry doll, and merry, oh, goldberry, merry yellow berry, oh, poor old willow man, you tuck your ricks away. Tom's in a hurry now, evening will follow day. Tom's going home again, water lilies bringing. Hey, come, berry doll, can you hear me singing? La-da-da-da-da-da.